Please welcome to the stage PTC's Executive Vice President, Product Development and Corporate Marketing, Rob Gremley.
Well, good morning. Let me add my welcome to Boston and to PTC Live 2014. Welcome to a smart, connected world. It's pretty clear after listening to Jim that PTC has a very clear vision for how all of us are going to participate in the building of smart, connected products. And we're going to do it by creating and operating and servicing the things that make up the Internet of Things. I have a great pleasure this morning of being able to introduce three fantastic speakers, spotlight speakers, here at PTC Live 2014. The first two speakers are from companies just like yours, companies that are starting on their own smart connected product journey. The last speaker is a speaker from PTC and ThingWorx that will give you some insider stories, sort of the beginning story of ThingWorx, and talk about the broader possibilities of the Internet of Things that's presented to both PTC and ThingWorx. Our first speaker this morning is David Riddle. Dave is the Director of Information Technology for Thermo Scientific Portable Analytical Instruments. That's a division of Thermo Fisher, based right up the road here, by the way, in Waltham, Mass., a company with 50,000 employees, all rallied around one mission. And that mission is to make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. Dave's focusing now in his current job on the safer part of that mission. He's got a long history in IT after working in companies like Analog Devices and Corning and Raytheon, and he is a real visionary in how to bring the capabilities of IT into the world of product development, something that's sort of eminently necessary as we start to build smart connected products. His group, his IT group, was critical in the development of the TrueNarc product, which just recently won an Edison Award for Design Innovation Excellence. Please welcome Dave Riddle.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Good. So this is a great time to be working in IT and in product development. The technologies, platforms, frameworks needed to enable integrated products and services are available. I strongly believe that information technologies can play a large role differentiating products and services and increasing customer value. I'll be sharing some of our experience over the past few years developing smart connected products. Over the next several minutes, we'll share experience on our first product, the TrueDefender FTI. We'll walk through the customer requirements, our approach, our solution, and we'll wrap up with some observations about the technical and organizational challenges that you'll encounter if you develop a smart connected program. So a little bit about us. So Thermo Fisher Scientific is the world leader in serving science. In the portable analytical instruments business, we are working to bring lab-quality analytical instruments directly to the point of need, to give our customers access to reliable, easy-to-understand, real-time results that help transform the way that they work. Our markets include pharmaceutical, safety and security, and industrial segments. We serve these markets by leveraging several core technologies, including Raman spectroscopy, FTIR, near-infrared, and mobile X-ray fluorescence. So how should we be thinking about product digitization or smart connected products? Investments in products, solutions, automation need to be driven from a product strategy perspective. First, let's think process-centric. By thinking process-centric, we can expand the opportunity space for value creation within our existing customer base, moving from a process node to an entire process flow, or from a product company to a service and solution company. Next, let's think about connectivity and how they can influence these processes, making them more extensible in terms of features and functionality that can be enabled over the internet, and easier to support and manage. Also, improve visibility as to how these products are functioning in the field in terms of needing service or their upgrade, these types of elements, thereby improving the customer experience, increasing productivity across the value chain. So how do we enable products and services that span platforms, applications, websites, and network domains? It's about developing products and services that are designed to work together to create more efficiency and value. Differentiated products and services increase customer value, improve price and margin, and create more significant barriers to entry to competition. Competitors will need to compete on an entire process instead of on hardware alone. Solution providers will be able to innovate more broadly to optimize the entire process, not just the hardware platform. Again, creating more efficiencies and value across the supply chain. We had to think about all of this in the True Defender project. The True Defender is a handheld FTIR system designed to analyze and identify unknown chemical substances. Users of this instrument often work in dangerous environments. They have to wear protective suits and gloves. They have limited dexterity. They have challenging chemical names to deal with. Using our instruments, they work to identify the threat, communicate it accurately to a field commander that may be around the corner or around the country. In 2010, one of our key customers came to us and asked us to automate two key processes: result notification and reach-back support. So what's really happening here, if you look at the graphic, so we have a response kit. Someone has called the police, the fire department, maybe a hazmat team, and they open up their kit, they pull out our instrument, and they maybe have the area cordoned off. They take the instrument, they point it at the substance, they press the button, and they get a response. So in the lower right-hand corner here, they see the result of that scan, and they have to communicate it to this field commander that may be in a command trailer around the corner or at a command center in some other state. So connecting the dots between that result and the field commander can be a challenge. Our approach was to focus on understanding the customer environment, their process, and the different roles and skills involved in this incident. This caused us to rethink, what is the threat? How is it communicated? How do we provide support where it's needed? In this case, the hot zone. We needed to keep it simple, secure, reliable. We can't add complexity. These guys have a difficult job. They already are trained on how to use the instruments. When we add this additional capability, it has to fit into that framework that they already know and feel comfortable with. We wanted to leverage reference architectures and standards where they're available. We want to spend our time developing spectrometers and providing chemical analysis, not in IT infrastructure. We need to keep it simple, secure, and reliable. The result was a True Defender FTI. Connectivity was provided using an onboard cellular radio. A companion website was established so customer contacts can be created on the web. So the instrument has 4 buttons. They're looking through a mask. It's not practical for them to create email addresses on the instrument itself. Also, the size and weight of the instrument is a critical element in its usability. So we wanted to basically leverage this companion website so all of the contacts and for the notifications can be done there, back in their office. When they're in the field, they can focus on their mission. Secure web services were integrated with the website, the instrument, and our remote communications infrastructure to extend this back office capability directly to the instrument in the field. Contacts are synced between the web and the instrument and our back-end databases. Notification requests are processed through remote communications infrastructure, and reach-back requests. This is where a result cannot be found with the onboard library, and we basically have to get the data files off that instrument back to our offices and routed to our scientists so that threat can be identified and that can be communicated back to the people that need it. So this is a service that we provide to all of our customers. So together, this brings a new level of service and capabilities to the True Defender. Chemical ID at the speed you need. So here's a video that speaks to the resulting product.
The Thermo Scientific TrueDefender FT is an essential part of a first responder's toolbox. It is trusted by hazmat teams, military, law enforcement, and other first responders around the world. When entering the hot zone, a responder wants one answer as quickly as possible. What is the threat? This isn't always an easy answer. A responder must deal with limited visibility, time pressure, and communications challenges. At Incident Command, emergency vehicle sirens, political pressure to quickly resolve an incident, civilian onlookers, and media are all distractions to a response team's mission. Obtaining accurate chemical ID in the hot zone is only the first step in a response protocol. The time required to deliver critical information from the hot zone to Incident Command is a major pain point in many incidents. Decontamination time alone can have a huge impact on information delivery speed, impacting responder and community safety. Every second matters. And now, with the TrueDefender FTI, everything changes. With the Thermo Scientific TrueDefender FTI, chemical identification results can be transmitted directly from the hot zone using state-of-the-art mobile phone technology. Results can be sent to Incident Command via SMS text or email. Or results can be sent to reachback support while the responder is still in the hot zone. TrueDefender FTI builds on the field-proven TrueDefender FT to provide clear, unquestionable results to responders and their commanders at virtually the same time. Using a simple menu-driven interface, responders can transmit critical information, including the chemical result, CAS number, and associated spectrum. This ability is invaluable for relaying information to Incident Command or expediting reachback support. Our scientists are able to analyze unknown spectra faster than ever before and provide critical information when it's needed most. With TrueDefender FTI, the time from identification to action is dramatically reduced, from minutes or even hours to seconds. The TrueDefender FTI allows analyzing and transmission of data in near real time, now faster and safer than ever before. Chemical ID at the speed you need.
Thank you. Okay, so the TrueDefender was our first product. We had to rethink what constitutes the product footprint. So instead of just a hardware component, we now have a website to register contacts. We have back office applications that have to collect data. We have database platforms, process orchestrations, routing this data to the scientist, getting the result back. The hardware also had embedded integrations that now, these are hard dependencies that have to be considered when upgrades are done. So some technical challenges that we had to consider were reconciling these new dependencies and linkages to process and services outside of the core product, managing change across a broader ecosystem of systems and services, managing reliability, so not just the hardware, but applications, database, websites, infrastructure, supporting this connected process, all need to be resilient, just like the instrument. All need to be managed in terms of change. The backbone of this integration architecture is a service-oriented architecture, web services that are facing our websites, that are facing our instruments, and are supporting integration with back-office systems. Security also needs to be a critical focus in all aspects of design. Traditional firewalls are not adequate for managing connectivity and security. There needs to be gateways for processes themselves, validation in addition to authentication. Organizationally, working together across non-traditional disciplines is a critical success factor for us. We need to think about organizational challenges, how engineering, marketing, customer support, application support, web development, and IT teams collaborate, develop, and support products in the field, not just for the design, but through life cycle and ongoing support and upgrades. Common requirements management is critical. Common project management, common SQA, including more than just the hardware platform, but these other applications as well. And then shared application development lifecycle tools. So I can't stress strongly enough that managing product development and collaboration across phase gates for the product, across this broader ecosystem, becomes a significant challenge and needs to really be thought through, and you need to have the tools to do that. Working effectively with R&D is also very important. So in our case, we weren't the first place that product development looked to try to add this functionality, but we were the last place. And we were able to address the requirements and really change the paradigm on how we operate. Our approach was to adopt the processes and tools that engineering uses. So we work as a subsection within the R&D team, in addition to doing application development and IT infrastructure. So we work like in electrical, mechanical, embedded software teams. Finally, the decision to adopt smart connected strategy needs to be made at a senior leadership level. So it requires executive support. Because you're working cross-functionally, you have to have the buy-in from all of the functional leaders and the investments from the company at large. Our experience on the True Defender FTI established the infrastructure, processes, development platforms that really have really created a foundation for all future products. Thinking process-centric and connected is now an important construct when developing our business strategies and new product roadmaps and services. I hope our experience was useful as you embark on your path towards smart connected products. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Great presentation. Very, very interesting as the starts to bring IT into product development as we start on this journey of creating smart connected products. Everybody notice how nice it is in here this morning? Nice temperature, nice humidity, feels really nice. Well, we can thank Dane Taival for that. He is our next speaker. Dane is the VP of Services and Customer Care at Trane, which is a division of Ingersoll Rand. And Trane, if you went to their website, you would see, is, quote, all about air. At the Kremlin, at the Statue of Liberty, at the Olympics complex in Athens. Over a 21-year career at Ingersoll Rand and Trane, Dane's done it all. Sales, marketing, product development, worked in the supply chain. His current job has him challenged to grow Trane Building Services, really the underpinnings of this shift from being a product-centric company to being a service-centric company. And we're going to hear about that this morning. Please welcome Dane Taival.
And boy, on a morning like this, I sure am glad the air conditioning system's working. As Rob mentioned, my name is Dane Taival, and I'm the Vice President of Service and Customer Care at Trane. And I'm very excited to have a few minutes this morning to share with you the story of our products to intelligent services transformation. Now, you may be familiar with the Trane name, but I'm doubting that you're familiar with our products to intelligent services and solutions transformation. Now, Trane began as a manufactured products company. We've got a 100-year history of innovation, and it's on that product strength and that tradition of innovation that our services and solutions business has really grown out of. Now, Trane, like many older companies, very humble beginnings. We started as a plumbing and steam heating organization, was incorporated in 1913 by James Trane and his son, Reuben. Now, Reuben was a very prolific inventor. He had many patents to his credit, and one of the other characteristics that Reuben had was a relentless drive for customer service. Now, this customer service mindset, it exists still today inside the organization, and it's really been a key factor that has enabled our transformation. Today, Trane is a brand of Ingersoll Rand. We're a global business. We operate in nearly 100 countries. We've got over 21,000 associates worldwide. We serve customers in a wide variety of vertical markets, nearly every vertical market, and we're one of the largest global heating and air conditioning companies that's in the world. Now, I mentioned that passion for customer service that one of our founders had, Reuben. that passion for customer service, it still exists today. It's a core value, and it's really what's enabled our transformation. And that passion for customer service, it's caused our focus to shift. So instead of focusing on our product and what type of innovations we can have just with our product, we've shifted our focus to our customer, and first seeking to understand our customer. And by asking questions and looking for that deep understanding, we've then been able to apply the insights that we've learned for our customers, how they operate, how they make decisions, to our businesses, and we've become much more services-centric in the way that we think and the way we operate. And today, we describe our mission as helping our customers make their buildings better for life, the life of the building, as well as the lives within the building. So to deliver on this mission, we apply a very simple methodology that starts by focusing on our customer and seeking to understand how they operate and really what the link is between the building and their business. So how does the building support the overall operation of their business or organization? And when we have that understanding, we're able to operate much more like a real business partner. We can design and develop solutions that are custom tailored to how they operate. We can present those solutions, and we know how they will impact the financial performance or improve the productivity or reduce the risk or some combination of those three. We can present those solutions using the terminology that our customers use, their language, not our internal jargon or corporate speak that we have. And then we also are able to position the solutions that we provide in terms of the economic benefit that they'll provide, the financial performance, the return on investment criteria. And so that's what we're able to operate with that solutions mindset and that expanded value proposition. Now, shifting this focus really has enabled this solutions mindset, this expanded value proposition, and today that expanded value proposition has also greatly increased the business potential, the growth potential that we have as an organization. For every dollar of equipment that we now sell, we have up to $8 of services revenue potential that's there. And where we are on our transformation journey is in North America, our business is equally split. Half of our volume, when measured by revenue, is equipment and products, and the other half of the volume is services revenue. Now, when we look at profitability, a little bit different story. The majority of our profits are actually earned in our services and aftermarket business. So we didn't get there overnight. It was a journey, and it's a transformation. We've gone through 4 stages of transformation. It's been a deliberate and purposeful evolution, this transformation that we worked through. And our experiences, if you look at some of the services maturity models that exist out there, parallel very closely to the stages of transformation that you would see that those services models would suggest. Now, stage 1, this was really service being an extension of our equipment business. Very transactional in nature. We provided startup services, warranty services, some maintenance, and of course repairs for our products. And the goal of this stage of our progression was really service supports the sale of products. Now, stage 2, that came with the realization that, hey, this service business, it makes some money. So at that point, we had a separate P&L, put that in place so we could measure and understand the performance of the business. We expanded our service offerings, added extended warranties, some service agreements, as well as some engineered product enhancements so that we could improve the performance of our products. Now, those services were provided only by factory-trained field technicians because of the complexity and the nature of those services. We still had very much of an OEM product focus. We serviced the products that we sold into the marketplace. Now, stage 3, this is where it really started to get interesting. The business at this point was committed to creating a services mindset inside the organization and evolving our culture. Service business was legitimized with a seat at the executive leadership table. We had a dedicated leader as well as a leadership team for the organization. We started to make some changes. We introduced a new business identity, a sub-brand, Trane Building Services. We evolved our product development processes to include service requirements and smart product requirements. We also broadened our value proposition inside the service business. So rather than focusing on servicing Trane products in the marketplace, we broadened that perspective to focus on building services. So as we broadened that focus, we had to look at adding some capabilities. One of the capabilities that we needed to build was the ability to partner. Evaluate partners, structure partnerships so that we can have this broader portfolio of services because we aren't self-performing all of them. And those competencies were not easy to develop either. Now, stage 4, this is where we're at today. current state. We are formalizing our connectivity strategy for both products as well as services. We've developed a portfolio of high-value intelligent services that really are enabled with our intelligent services platform that allows us to harvest the real-time performance data of the air conditioning and heating systems that are in place in buildings. And to go along with those intelligent services, we're again having to develop some new competencies that allow us to sell as well as execute and deliver on those services inside the marketplace. So today in stage 4, we are refining our business model. We're making some tough choices. Some of the choices that we have in front of us, we have to answer some questions. And we're looking at very closely, specifically software, and what level of intelligence do we build into our products versus building into the system level where we're controlling the network of products to achieve an outcome, in this case, of course, comfort inside of a building, as well as software and capabilities and the intelligence that we have with the software in the cloud. Another question that we're wrestling with is what amount of cost are we willing to add to a product to enable potential future services? Now, our products are sold in a very cost-competitive environment, like many are, and so any decision to add cost to a product is not one that's taken lightly. And then the third area that we're wrestling with some questions is how do we make it really easy for our customers to interact with us in the area of services and to understand the value that they are realizing as a result of the services that we're providing. Services are an intangible, and oftentimes it can be very difficult to understand the value because you're avoiding problems sometimes in advance of when they even occur. And not just for our customers' sake, but also for our own sake. We're trying to understand and figure out how to make it easy for our organization to adopt this new platform. When you think about thousands of people in hundreds of different locations spread throughout the globe, and we're changing how they work in delivering service today, a lot of different change management. We need to make that as easy as we possibly can. Now, software is a critical enabler for us, not just at the product level where it operates the product and optimizes how that product performs, but at the system level where our network of products operate together to achieve an outcome, and certainly in the cloud where that software is enabling capability, it's creating capacity for us, and it's dramatically reducing the time it takes for us to respond. So it's increasing our response rate. So, talked a lot about this intelligent services platform. You might be asking yourself, what does this services platform look like? Well, on the schematic that you see on either side of the screen, you have a representation of that platform. And you can see in the highlighted area that it begins with the customer's building. Now, the customer's building, inside of it, we've got a system of smart connected products, and those products deliver a continuous stream of data. Now, the stream of data comes into the cloud, and that's where we perform the analysis and identify service advisories. Now, this analysis, very rigorous. We try to automate as much of it as we can with the software. And out of that analysis comes a series of diagnostics and recommendations, and they're in the form of service advisories. Those advisories help us identify issues before real problems occur that can negatively impact the business or the building. Now, these analytics and advisories that we have, they really enable 4 different intelligent services offers for us today. The first one is building performance. That's where we assure the ideal performance of the building. The next is energy performance, and that's where we measure and manage how energy is consumed by the building. Asset optimization, where we work to ensure that the asset operates in a manner that's consistent with extending or maximizing its useful life. And then performance tracking. Now, we are continuing to expand and add to these analytics and these advisories literally every single week. We're dropping more analytics onto the platform. And these capabilities we're also integrating into our service workflow. So our business is evolving in a very dynamic, real-time way. Well, at Trane, we're very proud of the progress that we've made so far, but really, in this stage, we've only just begun. And as I think about the progress that we've made, there are some times where I get a little bit frustrated. I get frustrated by the pace of change. It seems like for every 2 steps forward, we take 1 step, sometimes more than 1 step back. But the progress we've made is real, and we're very excited by the potential that's there. And so with that, I would like to wrap things up, and thank you very much for your time this morning and listening, and I'll turn things back over to Rob.
right, Dane, thank you very much. I think it's interesting hearing that story. We sort of take all of this stuff for granted, and then you see that schematic and what it actually takes to make a building like this as comfortable as it is here this morning. It's pretty amazing. Okay, as you heard this morning, listening to Jim, PTC's acquisition of ThingWorx is obviously a really, really big deal. And we are very lucky this morning to have one of the founders of ThingWorx here, Russ Fadel. Russ is currently the president and general manager of the ThingWorx business running inside of PTC. And this morning we're going to hear the insider's story, really, on the founding of ThingWorx. We're going to hear about the opportunity that Russ and his fellow co-founders saw with the Internet of Things. Russ has a real knack for being able to see and capitalize on technology trends. This is not actually the first time that he's seen a trend, built software solutions for it, and had a very successful career in doing that. Please welcome Mr. Russ Fadel.
Good morning, everyone. As Rob said, I'm Russ Fadel. I'm the president and general manager of ThingWorx, a PTC division. Real pleased to be here to be able to tell you about the ThingWorx story and about the Internet of Things through our perspective. I do have to share with you that I've been through a couple acquisitions in my life, and this has really been probably the most exciting acquisition because there's such a great alignment between the vision of the two companies, between our technologies, and really between the corporate cultures. So it's an exciting time for us, and we look forward to the next 5 years of bringing the Internet of Things to the market and making it a reality. So over the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'd like to kind of tell you a little bit about ThingWorx, kind of what our product does, where we play in the market, and also how we think we're unique. And then I'll follow that up with 3 demonstrations of the product that kind of show us in the different spaces that we play in. So we were founded in 2009 with a pretty simple premise that we could make building Internet of Things applications dramatically easier. So we spent a couple years sort of in a Skunk Works program building out our first platform. And in 2011, we released it to the market. And really, at that moment, had a first mover advantage in the Internet of Things. We had great uptake. We were growing 500% year on year prior to the acquisition. And during sort of that couple-year period when we had our product out, we had a number of pretty interesting awards, 2 of which I'd like to point out. The first was from Gartner shortly after we released our platform. And they recognized us as a cool vendor in what they called the IT-OT convergence, the convergence of information technology and operational technology. And if you think about that, there's just one too many O's in there, because that's actually the IoT in disguise. The second was, in this space, there's a lot of competition for people to sort of show their products in a competitive battle of the platforms format. And so M2M Evolution is arguably sort of the premier company in that space. And we entered it a couple times, and every time we entered, we won Best Application Platform. So we're proud really of both of those recognitions. So how did we come into fruition or formation? So we had looked out in 2009, and we saw this idea that there were 7 billion connected things, and that within 10 years, there were going to be 50 billion connected devices, special purpose devices like tractors and refrigerators and temperature sensors. We said, man, that's an amazing growth, from 7 to 50 billion. But one of the things we recognize is that nobody was talking about applications. So you're not going to deploy a sensor in a farmer's field unless you're going to have an application that will give a watering recommendation to the farmer. You're not going to deploy a smart piece of equipment unless you can reduce your maintenance costs. So we thought, no one's talking about applications. And if you look forward, you say, well, how many applications would it take to generate business value to support deploying 50 billion sensors? Our estimate was about 5 million. And if you looked out just another 15 years, where there's going to be 1 trillion devices, we estimated that it was going to require about 100 million applications. So we're thinking, why is no one talking about this opportunity if it's so big? So we thought either we're crazy and there is no opportunity, or that we've actually come onto something big. So we said, well, let's look at what the market's doing today to build Internet of Things applications. And so what we found when we looked, we saw a lot of investment down at the sensor and device level, and then additional investment at the communication infrastructure level, software and hardware to help surface the information from these devices to an API where you could then build an application. But above that, all of the tools that were available were general purpose. There had been nothing specifically developed for the needs of the Internet of Things. So that created a level of complexity, and as an application builder, not only did you have to build your application, but you also had to create platform services on a project budget. If you ever tried to do that, you know that generally doesn't end well. So we said, lots of investment at the sensor and device level, no investment at the application level. This seems to be a real opportunity for us. So that's really what ThingWorx set out to do, is to focus up at the application level in the Internet of Things. So we came out and put to market the first complete application enablement platform for the Internet of Things. And so within our platform, we provide all of the core services for building and running Internet of Things applications. Communication services, business logic services, data storage services, system and service integration services, plus a set of tools to rapidly build user experiences. We call that Mashup Builder. Squeal, a search tool to do real-time analytics, and then a set of APIs that allow third parties to leverage the capabilities of our platform. So the result is dynamic applications that are built on a complete and purpose-built platform. So when you think about purpose-built, purpose-built, built for a purpose. So what does that offer in the Internet of Things? It really offers speed. Our value proposition to the market is that you can build and run these applications 10 times faster than with any other set of tools. And so that's pretty amazing. 10 times faster, 5 million applications. There seems to be a lot of value in there. I do get the question, though, and I get it from my marketing group a lot, what does 10x mean? That's not a customer value proposition. So I have to explain. So what is 10x? Well, the first thing is there's a direct benefit to users. You can reduce the development part of your project by approximately 10x, so there's a direct cost savings there. And that's obviously valuable. But if you think one step beyond that, it allows you to get your solution to market more quickly. And in LiveWorx later today, a guy named Lance Donnie, who has a smart agriculture business, will talk about how using ThingWorx allowed him to bring his service to market 12 months faster than with any other approach. And when you think about that as a startup, 12 months, that's the difference between success and failure. In any business, it's the difference between potentially a first mover advantage and a follower position. The third thing, which I think is even a more valuable thing, is that speed is directly related to innovation. So one of our goals at ThingWorx is to drive the cost of building a new application to get to the point where it almost approaches zero. So if you have zero cost to try something new, the opposite side of zero cost is infinite innovation. And so in the Internet of Things, it's all about the new. 5 million new applications, they're all innovations. So we think that speed is what is the critical component to enabling the Internet of Things and really capturing the promise of the Internet of Things. And that's really where ThingWorx expects to play in the market. So where do we play? So we sort of segment our buyers into 3 big buckets. On one end, you have manufacturing companies that use ThingWorx for improving operational performance. Now, that's a market I came out of prior to ThingWorx. I had a manufacturing intelligence startup that was acquired by SAP. So we help people in their manufacturing operations, which clearly many of you here have a manufacturing set of operations. The second place, which is really where the huge synergy is between PTC and ThingWorx, is in the connected product space. So we help companies who make smart products make them smart connected products. And then we provide the connected product infrastructure for delivering the connected product services. And then finally, we sell into the connected sensor space, which is a really terrible name. No one knows what that means. But if you use the word smart, smart farming, smart agriculture, smart highway, smart traffic, it's companies who have a new idea that they want to bring to market that dramatically changes sort of the efficiency of an existing process. So 3 spaces. And it seems to be very, very broad. My investors, when we were a startup under 100 people, they said, Russ, I think you're boiling the ocean, which they were probably right. But our approach to that was to really have a platform approach to it. So ThingWorx is a true platform where third parties can extend, enhance, and verticalize the solution. So the power of the platform is that our ecosystem, which is probably the biggest in the application enablement space and certainly the fastest growing, the combination of what we do and what they do makes the platform better and better, and it makes it horizontally applicable. So what I'd like to do now is just run through 3 demos. They'll be running behind me that kind of show ThingWorx in operation. So the first one is what we would call connected operations, which is really helping manufacturers, in this case a food manufacturer, improve the efficiency of their production. So those of you who are in manufacturing operations might recognize some of the metrics up here on the top right. OEE, which is operational equipment effectiveness, true efficiency, net efficiency. And so this is a plant manager's view. And what they get to see is a unified view of how their operations are running in real time. And so not only do they get sort of their metrics, but how many parts did they produce, what waste, what's the trend line been going, is there things they need to focus on. So ThingWorx is an infrastructure for helping improve operational excellence within the manufacturing facilities and also connecting plant operations to the enterprise. So we've just drilled down into the plant operator's view. And so they get much more detailed information about what are the causes of loss, how well are they performing, what are the reasons they had downtime. So you can see conveyor broken, sensor fault. The other thing we do is we integrate sort of the social concept so that plant operators, line operators can share their experiences with other operators throughout the company. So essentially they're allowed to crowdsource information to allow them to share how they run their lines better. So it's that sort of that collective wisdom or collective intelligence. And the last area is in the maintenance area, so the indirect costs area, where we do the same thing. We build communities around assets. And so the maintenance technician has all the information that they need to more effectively maintain those assets. So we'll jump over to the next demo. So we're going to move from sort of the connected operation to the connected product demo. And this is an example of a company that makes mining equipment. And so they make their products smart and connectable. And so they originally had a relationship with their products to help improve the service, the uptime and the service experience with their product. But as they matured, they said, we can take that same infrastructure and we can deliver a set of services to the mine owner. So in this case, they've built out a portal for their mine owner customers. In this case, it's Acme Mining. And so you get an overview of sort of all of the sites in Acme Mining, which is in the map. The little trend below is sort of production. And then the big thing in mining is safety incidence rates. And you can see one of the mines is red, and that's really not a good thing. I can drill down in the production, which is what we're doing on the bottom. And then we can look at the incidents. So really an overview for the mine owner or operator to see how their mines are performing. The next thing we would do is drill down into a mine. So now we're going down really more towards the service side of it. So now we're seeing the assets within the mine, where they're located, what their current status is, what faults have been occurring. So again, much more in the service operational focus. And then the last thing we do is we say, okay, well, if there are safety incidents or problems, we should be able to use this service to directly communicate to the appropriate person. So in this case, we're able to communicate to the local supervisor. We don't know who it is, but the system knows, and we can say, hey, there's a problem, there's a safety incident in this area. So as a product manufacturer, going from using connectivity to help service your product, but also now to take the next step to provide additional value to your customer. And we'll go to the last one, which is sort of a smart application. So most of you, I'm sure, have heard of the connected car cloud. Ericsson has one. They're doing that with AT&T. So any car you buy today that's pretty sophisticated will come in with like an OnStar service. There's an infotainment system. It allows them to, again, have a product relationship between you and the OEM. But what's happening in that market now is there's a second layer of applications being built on top of the standard cloud. In this case, this was built in conjunction with one of our partners, and it's really a rental car application on top of a connected car cloud. So what do rental car companies want to do? They want to know where their rentals are. They might want to know how the driver of that rental car is treating their equipment. And they might want to then use that to change their relationship with that driver. So in this case, they're tracking all their rental cars. They get all the detail on where they are and the speed and who the driver is, et cetera. But they also then can tie the driver's behavior into sort of a loyalty program where they provide almost if you've heard the word gamification, where they can say, okay, if you drive within the speed limit and you don't do any hard braking, I'm going to give you points. And you can use those points for a free rental, or you can use it for a discount on the next time you rent it. I can also then take, as the rental car company, I might have a relationship with Starbucks, and I can say, you've been on the road for 7 hours, let me send you a discount coupon to this nearby Starbucks. So it's really taking the concept of sort of basic connected car and elevating it to provide new capabilities and new points of value. And so that's really the three demos I wanted to show you quickly. I want to say thanks for your time and attention. Appreciate being here. We're looking forward to 2 great days. 2 great days at these events. I encourage you, if you have interest in the Internet of Things, find some sessions in the ThingWorx track, which is running in parallel to PTC Live Global and Service Exchange, and come join us there. Thank you very much.
Really good. Okay, how about one more round of applause for Jim, for Dave, for Dane, and for Russ. Fantastic presentations. What a great way to start the event this morning. So first of all, a big thanks to all of our speakers this morning for sharing certainly their experiences and their insights about smart connected products and this journey that we're all beginning together. We've learned a lot about the opportunity of creating and operating and servicing the things that are going to make up the Internet of Things. As Jim said, that's where all of us come in. We're all going to be the stars. You're all going to be the stars of the Internet of Things. We've learned about the role of IT. Dave told us about how IT comes together with traditional product development in the formation of a smart connected product. We heard from Dane about the transition and the stages that Trane has gone through as they've moved from being a product-centric company to becoming more of a service-centric company. And then from Russ, we heard about the broader implications of the Internet of Things and the opportunity that he and his founders saw when they started ThingWorx. So really very, very fantastic way, I think, to start the conference this morning.